good evening, good morning, good night, you lovelies. It is the one, the only Cappy D. Barra. Whoa, lot of hostility in the room. Okay, am I a little delayed on this Raw review? Yes. Am I about 3 days behind on this Collision review? Yes. Is my One Piece review still in cryostasis? Yes to all of these questions, but all right, I think what we have to acknowledge is that through all of that, there's one thing that exceeds all space and time: wrestling. Okay, good old-fashioned wrestling. Okay, now I'm not going to waste everybody's time with Collision because, as I've stated, the train has left the station. All right, and we are being chased down. All right, by our 7th horde of mindless zombies. That was a transit reference for any of you 2000s kids out there. I want to be very clear, very transparent. This recent taping of Collision proves why Collision is the A show. I mean, we could talk about Shibata and how insanely over he is. We could talk about the momentum that STP has had working with the Hurt Syndicate. You know, we could talk about Mercedes Moné and Zeta Steel, how they have a really quick mentoree, inspiration inspired match. Really simple story. Also, Zeta Steel seems to really she seems to be one of Mercedes' more favorite people in the world. Like, Mercedes seems like she really enjoys working with Zeta, so that's cool, that's nice. But as I stated, we could talk about the trios match between the Don Callis family and the good, bad, and the ugly. Like, there are solid portions of this Collision, right? I'm always going to state this, and even with the Dynamite that's being taped currently as we speak, the women's side is a little dry, right? The women's stories from the women's booking isn't exactly to what I want it to be, but AEW doesn't sell themselves as a stories first, matches second kind of thing. It's matches first, stories second, and then atmosphere third. And that's one thing I could also add. The atmosphere in this Collision, it was lively, it was good. Normally Collision always has a little bit less crowd attendees than Dynamite for obvious reasons, but everybody that was there seemed to be pretty involved with what they got. Again, the women's side could have used a little bit more energy, but not gonna sit here and pick cherries. All right, Hechicero looked amazing in the trios match. And as I've stated, what else can we get from this match that I'm already not interested in, right? I mean, like, the slow pieces of Hangman and Swerve are lurking in the background. We get a solid promo from Will Ospreay pertaining to the match with Kenny Omega that again kind of has both of them playing this heel face, whatever I have to do kind of gimmick. So I really do think that a lot of these things that we are getting is going to have a solid payoff, right? Our main event for Collision was the Rascals. They're essentially going up against, I don't know if it was the Don Callis family or if it was indeed the Hurt Syndicate. I don't believe it was the Hurt Syndicate. The Rascals have a match, so a Desmond Lee, my apologies, an Xavier Desmond, main event that's never a negative. The Rascals are doing great work. I believe it was with Leo Rush versus the Hurt Syndicate, or no, my apologies. The Rascals are walking up the ramp after their victory, and as they're kind of celebrating, the Hurt Syndicate come down to scare the shit out of everybody. My main point that I'm trying to get to is that we're getting a lot of really solid factions, right? From the Bang Bang Gang all the way to the Demand. I feel like I really understand everyone's motives, right? Because the Bang Bang Gang isn't even looking for belts. They're just trying to have a good time, and having a good time out there is winning matches. Anybody who stops them from winning matches, LA Cart, a Young Bucks, LA Cart, an FTR, maybe even a Hurt Syndicate, right? That then bleeds into a story. So everything that we're getting from the STP, the Demand, the Hurt Syndicate, Bang Bang Gang, the Death Riders, like, they're just solid factions in the dub right now. But as I've stated, we are a little bit late to the party, so I'll not waste everybody's time. I actually just had a bit of a memory recollection. Main event was actually Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Beautiful counters, beautiful chemistry from these two, but who's surprised by that? Not me, not your boy. What I was surprised with is what the ending was. Kyle O'Reilly wins to go on to face Orange Cassidy in the, I believe, semifinals, or like the quarterfinals. I think these are the quarterfinals or semifinals. A lot of good shit that we're getting from this Continental Club. So, saying all this to say, I was very impressed with this collision, and unfortunately, I couldn't get to it in a timely manner. But I mean, Trisha Adora was on camera. To plus 10 stars right there. So I mean, hey, listen, take that with a grain of salt if you will, but I was very, very impressed with Collision for August 15th or August 14th 2026. We're going to be steamrolling directly into our Raw. Now you're probably asking, Cappy, what happened on Raw? Cappy, what are some stories that happened? Cappy, what are we going to get on the build to Survivor Series? That's the answer. Nothing. And I wish that wasn't the answer, but it's the truth. It's simply the truth, right? Let's pick up in a pretty weird place in the night, and this is not going to be the most chronological video. We're kind of gonna go off the hip like we do with our SmackDown videos, because unfortunately these shows don't treat themselves seriously enough for me to do a chronological breakdown of these god-awful fucking shows, right? So Javon Evans, he eventually he picks up a win off of some cat. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it was Ethan Page. It might have been somebody like really worthwhile. I really can't remember. All that matters for this segment is that he got fucking jabroned by Big Cass. He's 7 foot tall and he hasn't had a single minute of microphone time, and you can't teach that. He delivers clotheslines and big boots that looks like he should still be in NOAH, and you can't teach that. They got this nigga Enzo selling hot dogs in the fucking parking lot of every single show, just waiting for some of this guy stinks buzz to go down so they can introduce Enzo. Keeping your talent on ice till God knows when. Only a talent Triple H has. And you can't teach that. I don't wish the worst for Big Cass. I don't even wish for him to be unemployed. I want for him to stand across from the likes of maybe a Jacob Fatu, maybe a Royce Keys. If you really want to do something in this fucking company, maybe you give Solo to Big Cass. Maybe. Somebody who's in his weight range, like somebody who is in his weight class. That's the word I was looking for, because expecting big bouncy fucking 99-pound Javon Evans to do anything to this guy, it's laughable. And then again, I'm just supposed to go with the Jim Cornette quote, like, well, if you see two guys and one's scrawny and one's big, they're beating up each other, you start rooting for the scrawny guy. I'm like, okay, all right, but like at a certain point I'm asking myself, why is Javon Evans so content with this rivalry where he's going to get the shit smacked out of him more times than not? Like, I'm having a hard time envisioning an IC feud where Javon Evans, reasonably so for the returning act, has to eat a couple pins to put this guy over. Unless they're just not going to put Big Cass over. And this is such a big caveat, right, that I have to deal with. Because if they have a fucking insanely blow-off match and it's good, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's ask the unreal question that got Road Dogg fired. Then what? Does Big Cass, after eating a loss to the 89-pound soaking wet Javon Evans, does he go on to be a US champion? Are we dead ass? Or does Javon Evans, after losing, go on to be an IC champion after losing to Big Cass, the guy who was literally just wrestling in your nearest Walmart fucking parking lot, right next to Enzo and his little hot dog stand? I mean, personally, from the bottom of my YouTube generated heart, I feel crazy about Javon Evans not even sniffing the IC title opportunity, not even being there. I feel like Javon versus Dominic is such an easy 1-2-3 feud. Does no one else see that? Is it quite literally only me? I mean, hell, Kofi Kingston was right there. Maybe you have Xavier become a manager or a part-time manager like MVP. Like, there are avenues, man, where Javon could have blossomed. And now he's just stuck playing second fiddle to fucking big, gigantic Cassidy. Oh, man, like you couldn't make this shit up in a dream, bro. You couldn't. It is not worthwhile. And there's no way they think this, there's no way they think that this propels either of their fucking careers. Big Cass looks like a schoolyard bully who eventually sometime is going to be humbled by the big face, I guess. Ooh, how big and tough Big Cass is from beating up on dudes who are like 89 pounds after eating a sandwich. It's just not that impressive. It's simply not. And unfortunately, I can't even get a moment of reprieve because you know what this next segment is that I'll talk about. I really don't care what the next chronological segment was. Oba and Braun. Oba and Braun. They're stand across from each other. And the segment's solid. It's solid. It's something really to write home about. Oba does a pretty funny Braun Breaker impression. Braun Breaker seems like he gets his shit together for at least half a second when he's standing in front of one of the best promos in that younger locker room. Easily one of the best promos under 25 in that locker room. No questions asked. So he doesn't deliver a terrible response, basically telling Oba that he's walking around here, you know, like his shit doesn't stink. And for the most part, Oba's shit doesn't stink. He should be standing across from Roman right now. Unfortunately, they're really apt, man. Like they're really focused on this whole let's make the MFTs again, just without the MFTs, and it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I'm not even trolling. I swear to hand to Allah. I'm not trolling when I say this. I think when I see Triple H run the play of let's replace the MFTs with some other guys so the crowd doesn't get worn out by the bloodline slop that they're obviously going to run for War Games, right? I'm just going to rip this band-aid off now. There's no reason in holding it in anymore. Pause. That was crazy. You know, it's almost like watching Trump like go out there and when he confuses like Ukraine for Iran or when he confuses like one country for another country, or he just completely completely butchers the name of a state. Like he'll call it Connecticut, like Massachusetts or something like that. And I'm saying this to say that play is such an easy, such an easy fallback play. Watching Triple H use his fallback play in this late in the game, it's sad, man. Like it's sad. It's sad. I'll be honest. Knowing that the time is ticking so much on this company that every single partnership that they go into nowadays, it ruptures in no less than 5 to 6 years. Ruptures up in smoke. In 5 years, if they're still on Netflix, I will genuinely eat crow. I'll eat it. I'll deep fry it with a side of fries. I mean, they have no fucking idea what they're doing over there, and them leaning back again on this bloodline slop. It's proof of that. It's proof of it. Nobody wanted the MFTs versus the bloodline last year for War Games. Now you're just gonna revamp it and replace the guys that you fired with LA Knight and Royce Keys, or whoever you can find, because Royce Keys is shoot fake injured or whatever the fuck that means. It's like it's a mess. It's a fucking mess over there. I'm really saying all this to say that they're using this Braun segment to kind of test another one of their fallback strategies, which is just have the guy that they want to get the rub stand out there with the guy with all the energy. Oba has the fucking crowd in the palm of his hands. He has the WWE Universe, the Federation Nation, in the palm of his hands. Braun doesn't. They don't like that. So you two dickheads stand next to each other and make something work. And you know what they figure out? You know what the consortium and the cabal of minds that go into the creative of these shows, you know what they pitched? In the darkest of night, under the veil of complete secrecy, using that alchemic chart to their highest advantage. You know what they cooked up in their fucking cauldron of dog shit? A Sunday night main event for your two biggest stars of the decade. A Sunday night main event. This, unfortunately, and I wish I was trolling here, chat. I thought we were pushing towards SummerSlam. Astagfirullah. Oh, man. Oh my gosh. Survivor Series. I thought we were pushing towards Survivor Series. Us getting this for Sunday night main event, not Saturday night's main event, whatever the fuck that's about, don't even care. Us getting it for like this event and nothing else, this is going to change the entire trajectory of this feud and maybe the future of the Federation. I thought they were willing to do something intelligent. I hate I was this wrong. They're really about to fumble a Steiner and fucking Oba. It's insane to me. And I don't want to sound all crazy with the tinfoil hat and say, oh, it's because they're jealous of Oba. It's because they're scared of Oba Femi. It's because they're scared of the mountain they can't climb. Who? No, I'm not saying any of these things. What I am saying, though, is that they understand that the future of this company, if they are going to be hand in hand with whoever the powers may be and Saudi Arabia, you know, I don't know if they want to give this company to Oba. It's very, very, very unfortunate. I don't know if they trust Oba that much. They have every reason to. He's shown that he can hang with the likes of Cody Rhodes. He's shown that if you give him characters, you know, that, you know, you want him to put under, you know, like a Joe Schmo Jabron from last week's fucking SmackDown, he can put him down. No questions asked. But do you have anything for Oba? What's the roadmap? What's next? It's so funny, that question from Unreal that got that nigga Road Dogg in the unemployment line, it really is ringing true when you ask this creative team. What is next for Oba? Because again, if this is going to be the old-fashioned match it should be, then somebody has to eat a 1, 2, 3. Neither Oba nor Braun can afford that. The only out here is that Austin Theory and Logan Paul think that they know better, and Braun puts this nigga Logan Paul back on their injury shelf. I don't know, maybe threatens to take out Maxine and Oba gets in the way. That's the only real thing I can think about. Like, there has to be a setup of heel versus face, dissension versus ascension, and there has to be a clear stance of individuality. But you know what? Here's the fucked up part about that scenario of the Vision fucking up the match and Oba again taking this massive stance against the Vision. Basically like walking down Maxine Dupree, right? Which again would kind of rile the crowd up for a heel, right? And then Oba coming in to make that save. Here's the only one issue with that: Braun is still your tag team champion. So now what the fuck is the next week of Raw gonna look like? Or should I say the following night? Is Braun just gonna leave his title in the middle of the ring and cut some, Austin 316 promo? I would love that for Braun. I just don't know if he has that in his wheelhouse. Hey, and from one guy to another, from one Mark, from one Jabron to another, huh? I would like to see him excel in that manner. I would like for Braun to take that next step, make that leap of faith, and actually bet 1,000,000% on himself, more than he already has now. I don't know. We should try to wrap up this Raw as soon as we can, because it's not benefiting anybody or my cortisol levels, right? So, there's a match between Dragon Lee and Wagner Jr. Am I gonna say it was the best match of the night? Not really. That kind of goes to Chad and Rey Mysterio. Now let's be honest, Chad and Rey Mysterio, that was a here nigga damn. Or shall I say, here Chico damn. That was like a here Chico, like a here hermano damn. Basically, that's what that was. This match is very good. It's very good, and it has one of the best matchups I could have created in a perfect reality, where I had to watch a wrestling match on loop for 24 hours straight on an abandoned island with nothing more than a Gatorade Light, all right, and a pack of Oreo Thins. I would pick Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio 7 days out the week, twice on Sunday. Unfortunately, Rey Mysterio is the general manager for AAA. I don't see Shawn Michaels out there wrestling. It is what it is. I don't see Adam Pearce throttling niggas by the neck saying be ready for next Monday because whatever the fuck his nickname was, the Executor, is coming back. It's like it was Nick Aldis for one time because they didn't want to push anybody on their card. I want to make that very clear to all of you. The only reason Nick Aldis got that match is because they needed tickets moved. They needed some kind of story to push a ticket sale. And lastly, they didn't want to push any real stars. I want all of you to know that could have been JC Jane's crowning moment. That right there, that slot with Gunther and Nick Aldis. Because you want to know what Nick Aldis allowed the following night? For Gunther, the guy who tried to crush his windpipe and break his larynx? World title match, world title opportunity. If there is no other, just clearest definition of we have no plan, It's putting your GM in a slot where any single fucking wrestler in that locker room could have been. Any single one of them. I'm not only talking about Ela. I'm talking about Johnny Gargano. I'm talking about Axiom. I'm talking about Ivy Neal. There are a million people in that fucking locker room that could have been in Aldis's place. Saying all this to say, they only do this shit when they have nothing. They have nothing. They have nothing for Chad, which is honestly something that I feel like should be like I feel like you should be tried in front of a firing squad for not having something for one of the best luchadors of this generation in Chad Gable, an American Grande OG, or OG Americano. Genuinely, I'm not even bullshitting y'all. After that match, I'll call him OG Americano. I listened to one of my old episodes. I was really adamant on never calling him that. That nigga is OG Americano. Is what it is. Hey, he has never once endorsed the Gulf of America gimmick. Never a single time. He said it on TV. They took it off of TV. He's never went back on it. Chad, as far as I'm concerned, is a very solid luchador. Through and through. He's a heel who wears a mask and has done something generationally defining in that fucking mask. I will never, ever shit on the game of Chad Gable. It's impossible for me. So for him to be given this match that means nothing, with no story, no push towards a world title, no anything. I mean, I petitioned Chad and Gable after Braun eats this pin on Sunday. They might not even do that. Hey, Chad might just be up with this One Piece video, just up in the air forever until it drops. Who knows when it will drop? Sad, man. Chad Gable deserves more. Dr. Wagner Jr. was put on a leash tonight because Dragon Lee, because Blue Eyes White Dragon Lee, because he had to go over. He had to. Even in some of the executions and some of the spots where he was clearly getting thrown around, he had to go over somehow. Somehow, some way, he's progressing in the tournament and you're not. Dr. Wagner Jr. can't go out there and get in his bag for it. He's not allowed to. You know, and that leads to a 3.5 match, which again, it's not bad, but for Dragon Lee, is that all he has in the tank? We know it's not. Is that all Dr. Wagner has in the tank? We know it's not. So why even give us this match on, I was gonna say Western television, that was gonna sound so ignorant, on American television? And yes, I know that Mexico is a part of North America. Please do not be an anal asshole. We all understand what I'm trying to say here. This crowd isn't gonna give it up for Dragon Lee and Wagner Jr. like they would in the middle of Mexico City. It's a simple fact of the matter. So unfortunately, production and the crowd kind of, you know, they don't exactly put over Dr. Wagner Jr., which leads to a very subpar average run-of-the-mill match between him and Dragon Lee, which is, I guess, what we're left to expect now from any luchador on this show. You know, it's funny because I left this out of my notes, but I'm so glad I thought about this in the moment. The power of the universe, huh? It's interesting. They won't even give you niggas a heel luchador on the show. Really sit with me when I'm saying this, right? Because it may seem like an insane, fringe, out there crackpot topic. They can't even cook up a creative where a luchador is a heel. Because you want to know what every single luchador is to these niggas? Lucha, 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 amigos, let's go wrestle the big bad. That's what every single fucking luchador in this company is to them. So no, they can't tell an actual story. Like, imagine them telling an actual story. A heel luchador and a face luchador getting to the top of this tournament on the biggest AAA stage that you could give them. Imagine that. Instead of Monday Night Raws in front of lukewarm crowds with no reception and no real production value whatsoever. Call me crazy all you want, but at least over there with a nigga like Roosh, he is a bona fide luchador who is a dick and a heel and can whip up a story in a moment's notice if need be. Hechicero, amazing example. Probably one of the better luchador heels of this year. Maybe that's a stretch. That's fine. That's fine. Top 10 minimum. The Federation can't even do something as ballsy as give a nigga with a mask a gimmick. Main event, man. Main event. Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, who looks great, by the way. Very dashing, chubby young man. The Usos, you know, the Yeet Master 5000 Buddha Fists, you know, Drunken Master and Jey Uso, and middle-sized Jimmy, the man who's responsible for the women's division being in absolute disarray. These four go out here and they fuck around. I wish I was joking. I wish I was joking. The entire thing is Solo has to like sacrifice LA Knight like he's some fucking I don't know. Like I'm guessing like he was Isaac, like Isaac and Abraham. I guess that's the best example of we're getting here. Solo, he loads up the spike. It's a whole thing. And eventually he just spikes Roman, and it was impressive. Roman again, which this crowd chanting OTC. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And them not really going as far as they need to with Roman just outside of this promo. It's really late now, because as I've been stating all the way back to that Jacob feud, there's not a moment where Roman looks like a face here. Jacob is saying you niggas was eating steak and lobster and I was eating cornbread, sipping on prison Kool-Aid, and now somehow I'm the bad guy for wanting a title opportunity. Solo was saying, I do not want to be a part of this toxic, evil thing that you have going on. Kind of mirrors a cult. I kind of don't want it. Then Roman literally punks this little nigga, right? He steps on his like $500 shades. Very nice glasses, Solo. Jacob super kicks him, and the entire thing is like, nigga, we'll jump the fuck out you right now. Samoan spike LA Knight or else. And again, as I've stated, as Solo charges up the spike, hits Roman. I think the most interesting part about this, as I've stated, the three pillars of this next generation, Braun and Oba, they're already doing their own thing, which I can't really figure out yet. But Jacob being the third pillar, I think him standing back, watching this and not really involving himself in this fuckity, horrible, just pot of just dog shit that's being whipped up, that's good for his character. That's great for his character. God knows what it's going to lead to. He's already on his 19th backstage segment with the Usos, right? Where Jey Uso again, or someone back. I don't know who, but somebody got jealous of that. You punk ass Jey. And now they've intentionally worked it against Jacob, just intentionally. Listen, I would love to say I know what's going on, but I fucking don't. LA Knight comes down, or I guess he picks himself up. That's, I guess, a funny way to describe it. And he eventually puts, the beat down on, the bloodline along with Solo. It's like a whole thing. And in my mind, I was just telling myself, like, this is literally the MFTs. This is the MFTs versus the bloodline all over again. The only difference is that Solo is a face, and that you niggas fired one of the Tuma Tinga Tunga Tonga Tinga twins. That's the only difference. Only fucking difference here. And I want to say I hated it. I do, but Solo's great. Solo's great. How he sells every moment in this exchange, in this segment with Roman, it's solid. It's solid. I think that Roman's an absolute piece of shit, so everything that he does to certify himself as that, it wasn't confusing to me. Very confusing to the booking, though, when these niggas are in love with Roman. Literally Roman sexuals in this crowd. Survivor Series is going to be a mess, man. Survivor Series is going to be a mess. I really hope they do something with Braun and the Vision that would make sense for that match to get thrown out, because Oba and Braun and Saturday and Sunday night main event, that's not an intelligent move. It's just not. Chad needs something ASAP. Off the top of my head, the Judgment Day, they need anything. Literally, Roxanne Perez needs fucking anything right now. It's bad, man. It's bad. Yeah, this is a dry season. And this is part of the reason why we don't do solo Raw or SmackDown reviews anymore, because these shows are abysmal. All right. That was pretty much everything that your boy had for August 14th, 2026 Collision. And August 16th? August 16th, 2026? Raw. Now, hopefully, next week isn't as deflating and, and discouraging as this one. But, a wise man once said, you can only expect so much from so many things before they begin to disappoint you all bloody over again. All right, that was your boy Cappy. That was everything that I had. Hope all of you stay healthy, stay hydrated, however you catch this, whenever you catch this. A lot of other fun things we're going to be getting up into for the rest of the week, including, not to exclude, Dynamite, Collision, SmackDown, One Piece, maybe ROH, maybe some TNA. Might get a little crazy. Okay, I hope all of you stay tuned, stay safe, and stay beautiful. All right, and as I always say, peace.